right, finally. Welcome, guys, to episode 15 of season 1 of the Film Room. We got here Perry, Brian, and making his podcast debut. Finally, we got Dewey. Dewey, what's up, my guy?
What's going on, y'all boys?
All right, guys. So it feels like almost a month ago. First of all, we got like about 4 topics to talk about. In the first topic, and the only reason why I'm bringing it up now is because I consider it one of the best live action remakes I've seen since Aladdin. And so that movie, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, is the live action How to Train Your Dragon movie, which I've seen. You guys have not. So what I'll do is bring up a tab here from Rotten Tomatoes where people sharing their non-spoiler review of the movie. And first of all, my thoughts is it's literally, if you guys saw the animated version, which I'm sure you guys have, this movie is literally scene for scene the same thing, but the only difference is this one, the cinematography. It's filmed Max, the camera work, the directing work, and the flight scenes. With the music, the theme song in the background, it hits different, and the casting is only besides Hiccup and the father Gerard Butler who plays Stoic. This aside from those two castings, the rest of the castings, I myself did have a small issue with. Although the dynamic of everyone worked out perfectly, it just the casting of them looked off to me. But here are some reviews from other people. AI goes one of the best stories ever told, amazing script, story, and heart. They don't make movies like this anymore, which says a lot. BMAC goes, loved it, 5 stars, great casting, he thinks, fantastic music, which I agree, and it's true to the original, quite literally. A couple more. This Tyrone H loved the movie. It's kid friendly, of course. New adaptation definitely approved. And if I find another good one here, probably the best live action remake I've seen to date. Definitely recommend it. So, guys, when you hear these reviews, what do you think? What are your thoughts without seeing the movie? What are your thoughts on this movie, and what do you expect to? What do you expect to watch when it comes to this live action version itself? Perry, I'll start with you.
Uh, Sounds like I've seen it. Just animated. Which I don't know. You can interpret as a good or bad thing. I personally don't think I will be seeing this because I just love the animated.
Yeah.
I don't really need a remake of it in live action. But I am glad that I know the director of this is the same director as the original movie. So
Yeah.
you're going to like try to keep it as true to the source material. I think that you can't do better than that. But there's nothing new here. It's the same thing, just in live action. So
I mean, it is the same thing in live action. I gotta say, the CGI is crazy good. The sound design
goes
is
the animation. And
okay.
so
Okay, yes, that's true, but it's hard to make to me a live action remake on one of the most iconic original movies and animation out there. Aladdin was not even was good. It was good, and this movie itself, I feel like it was quite harder to turn into live action because of the dragons, but the sound design especially definitely blew me away, especially on the dragons.
the very notion of just the remake in general, I don't need it. And that goes for everything. That goes for the Lilo and Stitches of the world. That goes for the
Yeah.
Aladdins of the world. I've seen it before. I'm good.
All right, Dewey, when we hit these reviews, what do you think about it? And are you gonna watch the movie? And if you do, what do you expect to see from it, or take away from it?
Um, well, I enjoyed the first movie. I enjoyed the original, right?
Hmm.
Um, I understand the whole take on, some movies shouldn't be a live action. I'm kind of excited to watch it. Uh, you know, Sometimes I like live actions, like the Lilo and Stitch. It was pretty decent. They could have made a couple changes with the actors that they chose, but all in all, it was still a good movie. So I'm pretty excited. I don't really have too much expectations because I'm hearing that it's kind of like
It's kind
copycat of the
right.
original. Like nothing has changed in the
Well, right.
dialogues. Um,
Well, seeing the movie, I do have to admit that, especially during the flight scenes, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'll just say that the camera work puts you in Hiccup's feet, literally, during some of the moments. And this movie, while I do prefer the original one, the best parts of the movie was Gerard Butler as the father, obviously. Gerard Butler, Mason Thames as Hiccup, and the set design. It's literally, I was quite surprised of how amazing it was, how it takes you literally in Isle of Burke. Like they did a good job on set design, especially that.
yeah, I wanted to be when I see live actions, I've kind of wanted to be spot on as the original.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a little flair because it's a live action. Um, so I don't want to really like hype myself up for it. I really just
Right.
want to sit there and expect uh, a decent quote unquote remake, but it's not a
Mm-hmm.
remake. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just going in there with open mind. That's it.
Yeah, as you should. Brian, what do you think?
Kind of the same thing as Perry. I mean, as an actor, I don't. Um, I believe they're taking jobs away from animators and
Mm.
that creative team. So I kind of stick my nose up at live actions. It feels like a money grab to me. It always has. And
Yeah.
considering that this one, I don't doubt that this one is probably the best because that's what people want. If they're gonna get live remakes, they want one for one. And having Gerard Butler in there, like he played stoic in the animated,
Mm-hmm.
so taking him
Right.
from that and putting him in live action,
Mm-hmm.
having scenes for one to one replicated, it feels like they're giving the people what they want. Um, but I personally don't believe in remakes. I believe in more so indie films and that actually like creative process of things rather than just these big corporations just
Mm-hmm.
pumping the same story. It's like if I want to go see How to Train Your Dragon, I will go see the animated one because it is the original and like
Right.
the story is the exact same. So like,
It is. It
and
literally
like
is.
the fact that you're talking
Although, yeah.
about spoilers for the cinematography rather than the story tells a lot about live actions in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
not something I
I do have to admit, wow, by the way, William, what's up? Thanks for joining.
Hey man, how's it going? Sorry for the late entry.
Now you're good. You're good. Right now, we're just going over some spoiler-free reviews of the movie How to Train Your Dragon. Do you plan to see it? And if you do, what do you expect to take away from the live-action remake version?
I plan to see it soon, and I just want to see how they treat the story and if it's believable. I think I've mentioned this in some of the earlier podcasts we've seen. I just wanted to be real. I wanted to be immersed in the world and not feel like watching a cheap remake.
Mm-hmm. I have to admit, watching this movie, while it is, like I said, scene for scene, just like the original version, I do have to admit that they did make very few tweaks to this live action version in a way where it's not literally copy and paste because they want it to be like a fresh live action remake, like not like watching the same one just in real life, but the tweaks that they make in here, I'm not gonna say what's removed, what's added. I'm not gonna say all that in this movie, but they do make tweaks, which does to me make it a good sign for this movie because you're not watching literally the same movie while the story is the same, the characters, everything is the same. Just the tweaks that make it to me a little bit of like its own version of it, if that makes sense.
Okay, that sounds interesting. That's why it
Because
seems.
yeah,
I'm just happy to see that universe again. It's been so
Mhm.
long since I've seen it.
yeah, I do have to admit though, I told them, but not in front of you, William, that in this live action version, the theme song does hit different, and during the flight scenes, as you guys know in the animated version, the camera work puts you in Hiccup's feet during those scenes, and I hope you guys are not like you know how there's car sick, air sick, cruise sick, seasick. This puts you in like the air sick mode. If you guys don't get what is it? What do you call that? If you okay, I'm trying to explain it, but anyways, there's some specific camera work during the flight scenes that does take your breath away if you see the movie. But I can't talk more without spoiling it, so I'll just be quiet right there. But all in all, what do you guys think of this live action remake? And there's not much really to say else because, again, like I said, it is one of the best live action remakes since Aladdin. But I didn't mention how Dewey mentioned Lilo and Stitch. I do like that one almost a little bit more than when I watched Aladdin. So Aladdin, Lilo and Stitch, and How to Train Your Dragon to me is almost neck for neck as one of the best live action remakes. That's me. There are other movies out there too from Disney, but not as good as this one.
Okay.
Let me remove this. So with that out of the way, because that should have been a topic discussed a while ago, because it came out almost a month ago. But next, guys, people are calling it the summer of Superman because it's one of the biggest movies of the summer. Dewey, stop making that face because you know it's probably true. All right. What do you guys expect to see from this new Superman movie? Because the last one came out in 2013, a different actor, different director. This is a beginning of a new franchise in the DCU. What do you guys think and expect to see from this new version?
Oh, could you mute the video? I can't focus. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's final trailer, so I'm like, okay, like we're getting into it now. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be a very well done film. James Gunn, I feel like, is going to hit the ground running with this. Yeah, there's nothing really much more else to say. We've talked about this so many times on
Yeah, exactly.
previous
That tells you.
episodes. But I'm patiently waiting to get my tickets.
I actually, since I'm a Prime member, Amazon Prime member, I got my tickets for the 8th. So I'll be seeing it with other Prime members in the theater 3 days before its release. Unfortunately, this screening was not free, but maybe it was worth it. Perry, what about you?
I'm going to be honest. I don't really even need to see this trailer. I feel like there's been a lot of build up to this movie already.
Mm-hmm.
All I really needed to see was the latest poster that was released.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just captures the pure essence of Superman. That tells me that James Gunn's going to knock this out of the park. And I'm just ready.
Doing?
Can James Gunn end this drought that DC has? Can he do it? Can he do it? Can he finally get the Justice League right? I think that's a question, right?
You say drought, but there's been a bunch of hits. His latest DC movie, The Suicide Squad, was great, in my opinion. If you want to say, I would say so. If you want to say Zack Snyder's Justice League, that was great, in my opinion.
I like that one.
If you want to go really recent, The Batman was phenomenal. So why is this just a sudden change?
For me, DC has been in a roller coaster of I don't know what and where we want to go, right? One thing that irks me is this whole Batman, switching Batmans, trying to figure out what universe this Batman's in, what universe is that Batman's in. I feel like DC in its whole should have its cast, like have its Batman, kind of like the Marvel aspect. Like there isn't two Iron Mans, there is just that Iron Man, that Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Because then you're just confusing everybody. Don't get me wrong, the Batman was great. Uh, Adaptation to it was Penguin. The Penguin show was outstanding. Do you
Mhm.
see that Batman as Justice League Batman? No, I don't see a Batman being so to himself, self-conscious. Kind of locking himself in the corner. I see more of an arrogant Bruce Wayne Batman. Um, doesn't take doesn't take nothing from nobody. I don't know if I can curse. I was gonna curse, but yeah, that's why I say can James Gunn, finally get it right. And I'm not saying his work isn't great, right? His work is solid,
Mhm.
pretty solid. Um,
I mean, he did make the three Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Those were the third one was actually the second and
the
third one
third one was
really
kind
good.
of I'm gonna say maybe it was the best one. The first one was really really good. The second one kind of threw me off a little bit, but um, I have faith in him, and with this trailer, watching this trailer, knowing that okay, Superman's only in his third year of being a superhero,
Mhm.
so he's getting, still got training to do. He's trying to iron out the kinks. That's what I
Right.
like to see. I just don't want to see, I'm Superman, I'm invincible. Uh, the
No, that's
only
true.
question I have for this movie is, can Lex Luthor, can he get me? You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Yeah, can he
in the
sell the
past,
movie?
it's been it's been so bad. It's been so bad with Lex Luthor. Now I understand it's very hard to portray his character. He's a very complex character. Um, but yeah, man, that's the biggest question I have right now.
I find it hard. First of all, can you admire this poster that I have on here? Like, what a beautiful tribute to the other poster we got like years and years ago. I mean, one of the best posters for Superman we've got in a long time.
I actually like the costume, the outfit, the Superman suit. I like it. It's
You
not
know,
too modern. It's not too comic throwback. You know,
I
Captain
have
Underpants. You
to,
know what I'm saying?
I have to admit, the only reason why I'm not a fan of it, I'm not a fan, is because it reminds me a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy costumes. A lot.
Oh, like maybe because of the shoulders and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, I see it now. Because
You
I was
guys
gonna say
see
it kind of looks Superman-y to me,
these
but then on a closer
these
look,
lines, these lines.
Mhm.
It's just like Guardians of the Galaxy and the third movie. They had costumes with these exact same lines.
But you can't deny it. I like the vibe. It's a cool,
Listen,
I like the art
I don't
style.
think so.
It's something new, man. Something
Yeah,
new. And they kind of
exactly.
play homage to the original.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the
so-
poster's nice. Just the costume itself.
It's just we're so used to seeing the regular, Superman costume. It's nice to see something slightly different.
Mhm.
That's just,
It's just funny how
Everybody needs to retire Henry now. Just retire him. He's gone.
I
No.
personally like the new costume. I like that we're stepping away from the super serious version of Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill.
really.
I think this is going to be the bright spot of
Okay.
the essence of Superman and humanity, and I think that's what shows it here.
Listen, watching this trailer and knowing that Nicholas Hoult is a Lex Luthor, it's hard for me over the years of all these Superman films and shows to have a great casting for Lex Luthor. But this version, to me, is not my favorite Lex Luthor casting. I can't judge it without seeing the movie, but judging it just before the movie itself, I'm not a fan of Nicholas Hoult.
I have a casting that would shock you guys, but would actually be a good cast.
What?
Which is
Dwayne The Rock. Dude, if he
okay.
plays,
Hold on, wait a minute.
Oh, he's cooking.
He might be cooking on this one.
He's Black Adam.
dude, The Rock should have played that.
I fully disagree on the Nicholas Hoult point.
I respect that.
I think he's a phenomenal actor, one of the best working today. And the backstory to this is that he kept trying out to be Superman in the casting call. He got rejected. Who's the best person to play the foil to that, other than Lex Luthor, the person who hates Superman the most?
Well, now he does, because he wasn't cast as Superman.
Exactly. It's fuel to the fire.
And you know what? Knowing that this is a James Gunn movie, I'm starting to warm up to the fact of seeing this Lex Luthor. Because you know what? I'm gonna let him cook. I've enjoyed his movies. Let me put my trust into what he has in his head. Let me see what he's cooking. man. He might be
See,
good.
as I pause it here, I'm trying to figure out who this character is with his own laser beams. I thought it was Lobo, but it's not Lobo at all. Definitely not.
No, it's man.
He appears somewhere else in the trailer too, but
I believe his
I'm-
name starts with an M. I'm not too sure. It's just,
I think it's Metamorpho or something.
no, he's something else. Okay, he's somewhere else in the trailer, but he's also a pretty weird, unique character, Metamorpho. But listen again, my Superman. By the way, Guy Gardner, his haircut just terrifies me. I have to just say it right now. But nice green color, Green Lantern. I like that. I wonder what this seems. The context for this. Scene right
I
here.
would hope we see more Green Lanterns because he's
We
just
are.
one. You
We
know what I
are.
mean? So,
He's gonna be in the new HBO Lanterns series coming out next year.
I would love to see more Lanterns.
He's gonna be in Lanterns, and he's gonna be in Peacemaker season 2.
He's let's go.
Yeah, so at least now we know him, Hawkgirl from this movie. They both don't die because they're gonna be in season 2 Peacemaker. Him and Hawkgirl, so we know they don't die in this movie. But
Spoiler alert, man. Wow.
Not really. Not really.
Maybe.
Have you seen the trailer for that? If you've seen the trailer, you would know. The trailer. It's not really a spoiler. But anyways, the camera work just screams James Gunn. It screams Guardians of the Galaxy. And like this scene right here, the way the camera like this. Who the hell is this? Same character. Wait for it. Right. This Lobo wannabe. I'm not sure who that is, but now I'm curious. But
This feels straight out of a comic book. It's so colorful. It's so vibrant.
just in this scene,
like
yeah. But listen, James Gunn, his goal, by the way, one of the best parts of the trailer, the slow motion scene where he saves the girl. I saw the behind the scenes of this moment on Twitter, and actually with him interacting with kids, that's James Gunn. He's doing his very best to bring this movie straight from the comics, and that's what I appreciate. I hope there's not too much forced humor in this movie. I want to see great action. I want to see something new that I've not seen in previous Superman films, especially Man of Steel, because Man of Steel is my personal favorite Superman. Henry Cavill is my Superman. I want to see if James Gunn could change my mind with Damon Cohen's Sweat as Superman now. That's the main priority.
I just hope the CGI and the cinematography can match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want too cheesy. I don't want too, forcing a comic book era type.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the addition of Crypto? Because we didn't see Crypto in Man of Steel. So this is the first Superman film since Man of Steel, and they're finally adding the actual city of Metropolis. They have more they're adding almost everything from the comics. Jimmy Olsen, you have of course Lois Lane, you have Crypto in here. Looks like James Gunn as both the boss of DCU and the director of this movie. He wants this movie especially to make a great first impression as the first film for DCU. So the marketing has been starting. They began the first press tour in Milan. They're gonna end it, I think, in Canada or New York, but they're gonna be in LA, I think, next week or 2 weeks from now, soon. But I do think this is more comic book like, which is what I respect from James Gunn, because this is more kid friendly. Man of Steel was not kid friendly. I think DCU is gonna be more kid friendly, more characters straight from the comics, and like Ben Affleck, who played Batman, obviously, he even said that he couldn't take his kids to see his movies for DC because they were not kid friendly. So that's what I like a lot about James Gunn's DCU, because it looks to me they'd be more kid friendly, and that's a big pro about it.
With all this lasering that's happening in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because this is right here.
Yo, kid. Perfect timing, dude. You timed this. Dude,
Yep.
That's perfect.
And notice his teeth bounce off the camera.
You know what? I like it. It almost reminds me of a cartoon, dude.
Yeah, literally. All right, guys. Any last thoughts on Superman before we see it on July 11th? Finally.
Don't fail
Just
me.
ready for it. Give me more crypto. I'm always gonna be happy with more.
Hey, get your crypto at home.
Exactly.
Oh, let's get his opinion real quick.
Yeah. What do you
All
think?
right, guys. Let's move on to the next trailer reaction. And you guys know Liam Neeson as an action star, like Taken, especially Taken, or the movie. I don't think people know much from the airplane non-stop film. Especially, I'm gonna say again, Taken, because I know him as Taken. What movies do you? What movies, when you guys say Liam Neeson, comes to mind? Just
Star Wars.
Yeah, I was scared to say that.
Schindler's List.
One of the smartest, best Jedi's to ever live. We need to see him in the New Republic whenever they will ever make anything about. I'm not sorry, not the New Republic, the Old Republic. We need to see more of his
Gotcha.
character.
Gotcha. Well, I again, before I play the trailer, I again know him as the man from Taken and just a big action star. Like I'll repeat it again, but this is the first I'm seeing Liam Neeson in a huge comedy action movie, the Naked Gun reboot. I've not seen the first one, but I'm going to have to before this one. But you guys saw the trailer. What do you guys think of the reboot for the Naked Gun, starring Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson?
I think it's fun. I feel like I'm hyped for this. And having like Seth MacFarlane as like one of the executive producers, like
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna be fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm hyped for this. Like even though like I haven't like heard anything about it before, like now seeing this trailer, I'm like, okay, I want to go see this, which is what movies should be. Yeah, I feel like Liam Neeson, it's a switch. You know, he's
a big one.
He's seen as being a very dramatic, very serious like actor. So seeing him step into a more comedic role I feel like is always refreshing to see. But yeah, I'm hyped.
Let's just hope that Seth MacFarlane, because am I crazy? That's the guy that worked on Family Guy.
He created Family Guy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did a movie, that Wild West movie. Let's hope he doesn't overdo it like he did in that movie. At least he's not starring in it, so
yeah.
So maybe he's locked into the writing.
Yeah, you know this scene right here when the guys cry.
Hold up, is that my boy? I'm just. Yo, is that OJ? What is he doing there? What's he doing? Yo, pause.
See, this scene to me feels like it's like a context from the first movie, because you see this man breaking the fourth wall, and like, no, like I need context for this part. I need context. I need to see the first one, I guess. But this movie looks to me one of the most random, wildest, hilarious action movies. I never thought I would see Liam Neeson do this ever, and it just shows a new side of him that I never expected to see. Especially that famous scene on the phone, "I'll find you, I'll kill you," this and that. I never expected to see Liam Neeson star in a comedy action film. Perry, what are your thoughts?
It just looks like a silly, fun time. It's kind of like that scene in I think it was Ted 2, where he's trying to buy the box.
Yeah.
Tricks for kids. There's your comedy.
Yeah.
But not, you know, it's Liam Neeson. He'll put you in the seat for your theater.
Look at this part. Take a seat. She literally takes a seat and walk out. That's hilarious.
I think he's also like 70 years old, so like
if that's true, that's amazing.
Oh, so he has access to the Force in this one?
Yeah.
Dude, I have to admit, looking at this part of the trailer, due to man's laughter, manslaughter. He called manslaughter man's laughter. Must have been quite the laugh. That was probably one of the best lines of the trailer.
Liam Neeson is 73 years old.
That's insane. That's insane. And he looks like he's 50 to me.
and he's still, putting in the work.
Isn't this guy a
Wait, hold on. Is that Cody Rhodes?
That's definitely Cody Rhodes.
Is that right?
What the hell?
I think so.
Again, so random. This movie is so random, and it just reminds me of, just the amazing comedy movies way back then. How you don't know what to expect in movies like this, and that's what I love about them. In the beginning here, you see him rip out his arms and smack him in the groin. Like, who? What? That's hilarious.
Going back to the DC talk, I think that was him as Ra's al Ghul teaching Batman how to fight.
Yeah.
Is
He
it
played Ra's al
what's her name again? Like something.
Liza Koshy.
Yeah, she's in this movie, which is crazy. Man, that line, man's laughter. He means that's hilarious, man. I'm gonna laugh like crazy watching this movie, but I do gotta watch the first one because this is the reboot. But seeing like a certain exclusive clip at CinemaCon back in April, dude, I want to see this movie like right now. The casting tells you the kind of movie it's gonna be, and seeing freaking Cody Rhodes himself and his eyebrows just change out of nowhere. This movie screams random and screams comedic. And there's one scene at the end of the trailer that just puts the cherry on top. We gotta get to it. But Dewey, what do you think about the movie? Yeah, do you expect?
Just piggybacking off of you, watching this trailer multiple times, just trying to dissect it to see how I'm gonna feel about it. Everything's just random. It's just gonna be random. Only thing I'm worried about is the humor. I don't want
what?
too dry humor, but it's just everything's just random.
Straight
There's
out
gonna be
Austin
times that they take away from, they do parodies from Taken, probably. You know what I mean? We're all used to Liam, especially like for me, like Star Wars, Schindler's List, Taken. The list goes on. So it's gonna be exciting to see him expand his horizon in this comedy.
Yeah.
I'm going in it with an open mind and wanting to get a couple laughs out, and if that can happen, then I feel like it will be a pretty decent movie.
One thing I have to mention is one of the most random things or parts of the movie / trailer. You'd think it's a normal girl, right? A normal girl walking into a bank out of nowhere. But no, he pulls a Scooby-Doo, takes his mask off, and what?
Yeah, I'm ready to see this part. I'm ready because he just stands
Bro,
up.
these
and
trailers are showing too much, bro.
6 feet
Yo.
I love this so much. I love it. And he fights the lollipop. Again, one of the most random comedic movies I'm going to see in my entire life. Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
How can you not love this?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he does not mind doing this is just rocking my mind. But man, when seeing this title card in CinemaCon, like for marketing purposes, I knew by the way, the coloring, the font, the bullets on the title, I knew it was going to be a comedy, just the color of it. And seeing this trailer, it's more than a comedy. It's just, what's more than a comedy? It's flat out hilarious. And this is one of the movies, one of the films that comes out, I believe, later this year. I don't know if it's a summer film. I think it's a fall film. But yeah, I can't wait to see this. And hey, William, I might watch it in 4D. I might.
Dude, nah, that would be perfect. Dude, this would be the perfect 4D movie. Let me know.
This and F1. F1,
Can't wait.
Man.
Oh my god, I can't wait to watch F1.
Yeah, on the 24th, man. Yes,
but again, Liam Neeson and anyways, again, I have no. I'm just speechless watching this trailer itself before the movie. I'm speechless, and I think you guys are too. Like, you guys have any last minute thoughts on the trailer and the movie itself, and Liam Neeson starring in a comedy action film? Before we move on, take those now.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. That means he lets you speechless, and that's a good thing, especially if it's Liam Neeson. Because again, I can't take him seriously in any comedic movie, but this film might change my mind. All right, guys. I hope you guys love biopics, and I hope you guys have seen Bob Dylan, his played by Timothée Chalamet, or love music in general, because this next trailer reaction is played by Jeremy Allen White, who is known from Shameless, The Bear, and I believe The Iron Claw. It's the biopic of Bruce Springsteen, and let me tell you, I dig it. I dig this trailer. This is a film I hope to see in IMAX because the performances in the live audience in this film, I feel like will give me goosebumps. Guys, Perry, start with you. What do you think of this trailer, and what do you expect from a biopic of Bruce Springsteen, played by Jeremy Allen White?
When I see Jeremy Allen White, he's not the first person that would come to my mind to play the boss, Bruce Springsteen, but from this, I'm sold. I think the way I mean, I didn't even know that he could sing. I don't think he even sang before filming this movie. I heard that Springsteen wanted him to play the role himself, so I'll be here for it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of some of the musical biopics. It depends on which one, but it looks like this could be one of the good ones.
William,
I'm here. I like the actor that they chose for this one, but like I'm not sure. Like I've seen pictures of Bruce Springsteen, and he doesn't look exactly bar for
listen.
bar.
As long as he has the similar structure of, as long as he has the voice, as long as he can act out Bruce Springsteen, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, and yeah. So,
Young,
but he's a good actor, so it's worth
Bruce
checking out.
Springsteen, like they kind of, I can see where they're drawing the connection between him and Jeremy Allen White. But like, in recent years, like of course, like Bruce Springsteen does not look like Jeremy Allen White at all. Or vice versa. But I feel like, it gives a complete unknown. Like I feel like this feels like a complete unknown.
Right.
But I'm still excited for it. Biopics, I feel, is like is somewhat of a new genre of like film that we've been seeing lately, and I kind of like it. It's it's a nice like step into these famous people's lives. They did it with Bohemian Rhapsody. They did it with Bob Marley. And they've knocked it out of the park every time. So I don't see why this shouldn't be any different.
That's true. And listen, to me, it's hard to make a biopic based on characters because there's pressure to try to do it right, and you want to make sure that you don't put the actual actor to shame with the movies like this, because you're representing that character in the past history. So I feel like it's harder to make biopics, and thank God Timothée Chalamet did good in A Complete Unknown. Thank God, I forgot the actor's name in Bob Marley, but he portrayed Bob Marley really well, especially with the accent. So
Kingsley Benadir.
Thank you. Yes, him, and he played, I think, really good as Bob Marley with the accent. I just think that with biopics, those movies are their own tier of movies, because you gotta represent who they're playing, those certain like real life public figures, and those just, I think it's hard to do. And I think Jeremy Allen White here, I think he will do great. And if you guys saw the trailer or heard the brief moments where he sings, I don't know if it's just a fake voice or fake like auto-tune or what, but if it's his real voice, he sounds amazing in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of the biopics, especially for movies, they like for at least for One Love, they had like Kingsley Benadir barely sang in that. Like they used a lot of Bob's actual vocals from it, but some of them like Bohemian Rhapsody, Rami Malek actually like sang. So like at least like on set, he actually sang. So like that versus just lip syncing is like, it makes the difference, even if you're not like using their actual voice. So
Like this moment in the trailer where he shows him maybe singing, his voice, real or not, it sounds amazing, and I hope they have this movie in IMAX because this moment of the movie where he performs a live audience is gonna hit different in IMAX screens, and
yeah,
especially Dolby Cinema for sure. Because any movie I see, I want it to be in IMAX, and the movies I've seen were made for IMAX. I've not seen a movie in a standard theater unless I see it with my family. The ones I've seen in IMAX are either screenings or ones that are made for IMAX. Like this one, I hope it is for IMAX because this, with his voice, with the cinematography, this scene right here where he performs a concert, this has to be in IMAX. It can't be in a regular theater. But what are your thoughts on Bruce Springsteen biopic?
So I'm big on biopics. Very, very big on biopics. I get what you guys are saying about how he doesn't really, look like the actual Bruce. I get that, but my whole thing is he's been through a lot in his life, and I'm curious to know the route they're gonna take with this film. Um, Now the vocals have to hit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that is from the trailer. It's pretty nice. I get what you're saying about the crowd and IMAX. It would be nice to see. I'm not too big of a fan of his music, to be honest. Just know the back storyline of him, what he's been through. So I think that's what's gonna captivate me more than his music.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a big thing is if you can portray the character and make their story come to life and touch people. That's the main thing for these biopics.
Mm-hmm. William, did you give your thoughts on the
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I was complaining that he didn't look like a character, but
Oh,
what I
right.
should also mention is that this actor, he's done a great job in the other things that he's been in, so you
Mhm.
definitely know that he has
Range.
crazy range. Exactly. So if I was in the shoes of casting someone, I feel like you can definitely leave him and grab
Mhm.
this actor, and he has the opportunity to do a great job. And from what I've seen on this trailer, looks interesting. Looks
Mhm. I mean, listen, when it comes to biopics, like I mentioned, I loved A Complete Unknown. I love the Bob Marley one. It's hard to get me intrigued in a biopic, especially when it's about a musical artist. But I feel like this is why a great casting really helps a lot because it depends who's cast as a character. It depends on the supporting casting, the setting, obviously, the script, the writing, everything about a biopic really matters to me because you don't want to spend money on a movie that you don't like to watch, especially with a biopic. And this film looks like it'd be plenty of flashbacks on the character's history, showing why he is the way he is. And I feel like, as a great writer as he was, Bruce Springsteen, I think Jim Allen White, despite some of you guys maybe not thinking he has the right, I guess, picture for who he's representing, I do think he might really do well representing Bruce Springsteen. And again, seeing his work in The Iron Claw, The Bear, Shameless, maybe others he was in, but that proves he has range, and that proves that if he does well here, his name will be considered for he will definitely be considered for an Oscar award if he does really well in this movie. That's because this is a really big character he's representing. So I feel like he does well here. You will hear his name as an Oscar nominee for sure.
Do you
and
really
even better, he
consider an
can go to
Oscar?
Marvel. My bad.
Go ahead.
I know. I was just trying to make a joke. Like even better than the Oscars, he might be invited to a Marvel project.
Hey, you never know what could happen because
Isn't
one,
everybody invited to that?
hey,
Oscar wise, man, I don't see it. I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't see it. Prove me wrong.
Hmm.
Basically, that's the attitude I have towards this film. Um, yeah, just prove me wrong, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it might be a heartfelt story,
Hmm.
but like you piggyback on what you said, man. The way you portray a character, or where you portray an actual real person,
Hmm.
it's gonna mean a lot, because people reflect off of what you portray in a movie to that person. So just want to see what the storyline goes and
Yeah.
see how they execute it. But like I said, prove me wrong. I don't see Oscar material here. It's just a biopic.
Hmm.
If you can wow me, then maybe I'll change my mind.
Yeah. Guys, any last thoughts on the Bruce Springsteen biopic played by Jeremy Allen White?
I think one person that you're overlooking in this trailer is Jeremy Strong, another great actor.
Yes, you're right.
I don't know. I like the pairing of these two. And then also another musical biopic that you guys didn't mention was Rocket Man. With Aaron Eckhart.
Yes.
I thought he was great in that.
Yes.
But it looks like Jeremy Allen White is.
Wait, was it Rocket Man played by Taron Egerton?
Taron Egerton, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. For a second, I thought you meant like a biopic played by Jeremy Allen White.
No.
Okay.
But I like that Jeremy Allen White worked with Bruce himself for this role.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that he's going to honor his legacy. I'm excited for it.
Another actor that's in this film that I noticed was Stephen Graham.
Mhm.
And if you guys saw the Adolescence on Netflix,
Yes.
you just know that he is like going to play the dad like perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with him when I watched Adolescence. It was eye-opening. Like his performance was really, really well done. So like I feel like him like stepping into another dad role like this is going to be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. And I hope this movie will be an IMAX film, because like all biopics, this film should definitely be one. Superman obviously is going to be one. You have The Naked Gun, I doubt will be IMAX, because it's just another standard comedy action film. But this film,
Popcorn movie.
Yes, thank you, popcorn movie for sure. Movie night at home kind of movie, definitely. But all right, but all in all, any last thoughts again one more time on any of these trailers, Superman, Naked Gun, or Bruce Springsteen? Any last thoughts?
James Gunn, don't drop the ball.
That's a good one.
Word.
All right, guys. Episode 15 was a blast. Thanks, Perry. Thanks, Dewey, your podcast debut. Hope you had fun. Thanks, William and Brian. Thanks, guys, for joining. Stay tuned for episode 16. Remember, season 1 it goes up to episode 20. Once 20 is done, we go season 2. So 5 more episodes left for season 1. Stay tuned for episode 16 sometime next week or whenever we're all available. Maybe same squad, some different, who knows. But plenty more topics that came from. Guys, thanks for joining, and stay tuned for more content and for more screening reviews too. Have a good night, guys.
Peace.
Take it easy.
Thanks for watching the 5 Reasons Gambling Show with Big Picks Energy.
Secure the value. Secure the value. Secure the value.